For competency 4, the teacher understands learning process and factors that impact students' learning and demonstrates this knowledge by playing, effective, engaging instructions, and appropriate assessments. I chose teaches, models, and monitors age-appropriate study skills using graphic organizers, outlining, note-taking, summarizing, and test-taking. And structured research projects appropriately teaches students in steps in research, establish checkpoints during research projects, help students use time management tools. My process evidence component, I chose a teacher YouTube video. This video describes several different types of studying skills for students. It ranges from graphic organizers, visualization, flashcards, and etc. This helps students find a way to study for a test. We will be mainly discussing note-taking by using Cornell Notes. I thought this video showed many options on how to help you study for an exam. Many students get nervous or have test anxieties when taking a test. Many students either use one or two study skills to help them pass the test. When we begin class, usually the teacher says, take out your journal and take these notes down. How can we write good notes that will help us with our test?
Do you have difficulty remembering and understanding your classwork? Here are 10 suggestions to get you started. Review. When you learn something, review it. Check you can remember what you had to remember. Ask yourself again and again. The more times you review, the more you remember. Visualize. What visual image can you create in your mind from what you are learning about? What does it make you think about? Add color, sound, and humor to your image. Visualize it in a way that you can remember it. Make flashcards. Write words, explanations, draw pictures, and use small flashcards to remember and review. Test yourself. Play games with others and yourself. Connect. Find a connection with something you already know. Put the pieces together like a puzzle. Ask yourself, why and how are they connected? Summarize. Whatever you are learning, make it shorter and more to the point. Practice shortening it with more detail or less detail. Write your summary, record it, do it as a role play, or draw a comic script. Sing. Make a rhyme, song, chant, poem, or melody about what you want to remember. Make it funny and interesting. It doesn't need to be perfect. Diagrams. Use diagrams of different kinds to review. Draw diagrams, flowcharts, timelines, mind maps, tree diagrams, or brainstorm lists remembering what you can. Try to include everything. Mnemonic. Create a mnemonic. Create something to help you remember, such as by using the first letter of a word, or make an acronym or a visual mnemonic. How can you remember the slides in this presentation?
Okay, I like how the video gives out different types of studying ways. I mainly use note-taking and flashcards, especially when it comes to vocabularies and memorizing a graphic organizer. I normally just use flashcards, and with note-taking, I just write everything down that the teacher says or presents. So I found a video for my product evidence. Is on TeacherTube again. It's about Cornell Notes this time. This video has a teacher singing a song from Katy Perry, California Girls, but the words are changed to a fun way to teach the students how to do Cornell Notes. I chose this video because it was something creative and fun for the students. She goes through each step and section of creating a Cornell Note. Cornell Notes help students to review notes systematically. They get to practice a higher level thinking skills. The students can think actively as they learned. The students can use Cornell Notes on lectures, PowerPoints, and written materials. And this is basically how it's set up. You can do the course name depending on how the teacher wants it. You put your name, your date. You have your key points right here in this little section in the left side of the paper. And on the right side, you have the notes about the key points. And at the bottom of the page, you will write your summary.
I know a way to make your notes much cleaner. Cornell is the style to help you keep the knowledge longer. Write in all the news. The notes are underneath the topic C. The left side is for questions, and it ends with a summary. You could travel the world, but nothing comes close to the Cornell notes. Once you take them with us, you'll be learning so much. Cornell notes make knowledge unforgettable. Name, class, date, and topic on top. Notes on the right, so great, it's really logical. Cornell notes make knowledge unforgettable. Left questions, we got it unlocked. Avid reps present, now put your hands up. Summary. We don't mind writing 4 sentences. Read, read and read. Don't forget notes are good references. You could travel the world, but nothing comes close to the Cornell notes. Once you take them with us, you'll be learning so much. Cornell notes make knowledge unforgettable. Name, class, date, and topic on top. Notes on the right, so great, it's really logical. Cornell notes, the form is undeniable. Left questions, we've got it unlocked. Avid reps present, now put your hands up. Step 1, put your heading. Right date, because it shows you're ready. Right side, right notes. I mean the ones that matter most. I mean the ones like the major ones. Read them, touch them, summarize them. Left side empty, just stay with me. The question should be level 1, level 2, level 3. I love Avid C, college bound and college ready. Study time is everything. Come on kids, hanging out. All those advocates turning out in universities to journeys to attorneys. No weenies just to get to 18. Make it valid, not take for granted. I'm rooting for you, because you're represented. Avid. Cornell notes make knowledge unforgettable. Name, class, date, and topic on top. Notes on the right, so great, it's really logical. Cornell notes, the form is undeniable. Left questions, we've got it unlocked.
So that was it for the video. I thought that was really nice that they try to do something related to music-wise too for the kids. She goes over the Cornell notes at least 2 or 3 times, which I think is good because I know sometimes you probably couldn't understand exactly what she was saying the first time. So it was her repeating it over and over, and then when she had the slow part of explaining each part, made it easier to understand how to do Cornell notes. And if the students still do not understand from the video, I would have an example of how a Cornell note should look like, and I would help the kids to understand exactly what these mean. For my performance evidence, I found a Cornell Notes template. For the summary, I would give the students a reading passage and they would need to read it. But when they finish reading it, they will need to go back and create their own Cornell Notes from the reading passage. And they can refer back to the video of how they created the Cornell Notes, or like I said, if they do not understand, then I will assist them and explain them how to do it. The reason why I want to do this is because I've never learned Cornell Notes. I've tried once maybe, and I didn't really quite understand it, so I didn't really get into the writing my notes in Cornell way. So I would normally just write everything down, all the information, whatever the teacher says, whatever the PowerPoint or note says, I would write everything down. And it would just be so much to know, and even some of the stuff wouldn't even be on the test. So I want to teach my kids this way because I feel like this helps them to organize and understand the notes instead of writing everything down. Cornell Notes hits the main points of the reading passage. They describe the key points and they end it with their own summary. And when they write the key points, they can write on the right-hand side, right here, notes about the key points of what is the key point, how do you know this is a key point. For my summary, Competency 4 helps us understand the learning process and factors that impact student learning. The book demonstrates by planning effective, engaging instruction and appropriate assessment for the students. I feel like one of the important factors would be organization skills because it can impact the learning process of a student. It's our job to help the students understand their own world. Another part that I felt was the studying skills, because we give the students homework, and most of the time they work on their homework at home with their parents or possibly at school with the teachers, depending on the child's situation. But when they go and take the test, their mind goes blank. They don't know what they're doing. They're confused, second guessing themselves. They're just having all these test anxieties. So we need to try to find different study methods for students to help them be prepared for the test. So when they come in, they take it, they won't have much anxiety when they take the test. They know that they're ready and they can do this. I see it sometimes with some of the students in Ms. Mackay's class. You can see how frustrated they get, but they do good on their homework, but when they try to do their test, it doesn't come out as good as they thought it was going to be. And then it talks about 4 different parenting styles. You can tell from a student what type of parenting styles they have, and there'll be different ranges. That's kind of like a way important for me, just because my mother, it's like based on how decision making. You see what type of parents they are. You have parents who make decisions all the time. They don't let their child make decisions. You have parents who make some decisions but let their children make their own decisions. And then you have parents where they don't make decisions at all and their child doesn't know what they're doing. And I think it's important to try to find a balance in that in parenting style. The last thing I will bring up is that learning and thinking style play a huge role for the students. It's good to bring all different types of learning and different thinking types, and try to incorporate that into your lesson plan. Try to add some visualization, auditory, tactile, kinesthetic. There's many more types in the book. But try to incorporate that and try to accommodate each type. You may have one student that will know visualization, that knows visual learning. You have other students who are tactile or auditory. It just really depends on the student and how they are. You may have a student that does both. But as future teachers, we need to make sure that the students are actively engaged in the lesson plan. So that's what I have for my Wiki 4. I hope you enjoyed it.